Hello. Oh, Miriam.
I know.
I'm Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. And this was the compromise I made.
Yeah.
If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away, especially when you're stuck in Utah for 9 days because there's stupid snow.
And your road is closed.
Yes.
All of Wyoming is closed. Anyway,
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. So thanks for joining us on our keto journey.
so it says, yay, why are you echoing? Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, okay. You fix that. I'll introduce our people. This is Liz and Scott
Boom.
from Platte River Keto.
Fixed it.
And they got stranded here, so we decided to have them join us on our live stream today.
Yes, we were supposed to go home 2 days ago.
But that's okay.
Okay, did I fix the echo?
Yeah,
It should
tell
have
us if
fixed
it
the
sounds
echo.
okay.
So there was a delay.
Smile.
Okay, but people say it's better. Great. So much echoing and echoing.
Oh, Carrie, is it better or is it still echoing?
They're getting it a little bit later. They're on the YouTubes. I mean the Facebooks.
Okay, so
Echo fixed. Okay.
yay.
All right, so we got Marie here and Tammy and Just Jen.
Hi,
Wants
Jen.
people to go to Platte River Keto
Shouldn't be
and check out
just Jen.
Scott's
It
amazing
should be
food.
the amazing Jen.
Well, she said Just Jen.
I know, but she's not just Jen.
Oh.
She's amazing Jen.
Now there will be a little bit of echo still because there's echoey ceilings.
Why are the ceilings here? It's so annoying.
I don't know. Anyway, so let's say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We've got Liz and we've got Scott.
I already said that when you were trying to fix the echo.
Okay, and Scott's got a cool shirt.
I do have a cool shirt.
It's just like the one that Miriam was wearing. I haven't even tried mine on yet. What the heck?
I was really happy it was super soft.
Those are the best shirts.
Yeah, for sure. So we invited Scott on because he has an amazing keto story, and he just started his YouTube channel in August last year, and he's just going crazy, making all these awesome videos, and we wanted you to check him out, but we wanted to share his story with you, and when Chris is done fiddling, he'll ask some cool questions.
Yeah, I probably will. Although, let's be honest here. Until I figure out what's going on, I'm going to be useless. So you interview them for a
All
second.
right.
Kate, can you hand me the
Chris
gray
is useless.
headphone?
No.
case?
Okay,
Yep.
so Scott, tell us when you started. keto.
Okay, so I started keto in July of 2021. So it's been about 17 months.
Nice.
I started at 475 pounds and could not get from the beach house that we were at to the beach, and decided that I wanted to do something different.
Like make it to the beach.
Like make it to the beach and maybe be able to stay on the beach or sit on the beach or get out of a chair, and get off of the ground. Yes, and so that was what finally made me decide that I wanted to do something different. And yeah, I actually went straight from the standard American diet to carnivore for about 4 weeks until I decided that I couldn't eat just meat, and that was when I landed on keto.
But you're still pretty ketovore, right?
Yes, with the exception of the holidays where I'll occasionally have a keto treat. I'm definitely very meat heavy keto, and really the only carbs I get come from vegetables. So yeah, I'm pretty ketovore for sure.
Awesome. So your beach event, was that kind of like hitting rock bottom? Like a lot of people, say
Yeah.
I have to hit rock bottom and then they make a change.
Yeah, I think so. At the beginning of that 2021, I had decided that I wanted to do something, and that was actually, I started trying to exercise every day, and it was really hard because, as I've mentioned, if anybody's ever seen my original story, I could not hardly walk around the block without my back hurting so bad that I wanted to stop. And so I was trying to get workouts in, but I really couldn't. I couldn't go very far. And so a friend private messaged me and said that there was this diet that he did that was kind of strange, but if I was interested to let him know. And I didn't at first, but then the trip to Florida and the inability to do much of anything on that vacation, was really what made me decide to get started.
Cool. Sorry, Chris is really distracting sometimes. Chris is just fiddling with the camera, so we're trying to pretend that he's not doing that. But anyway, we saw your story. I don't remember if it was on Two Crazy Ketos or if you actually posted on our Facebook group. But man, when we saw your story, I think it was Lynette brought it to us and said, "Hey, this guy is amazing. Check him out. Check out his story." And I mean, just like what you said, when you can't even, walk to the mailbox or whatever, like how do you go from that to like doing what you're doing now? And it was mostly you started with diet. When did you incorporate the exercise exactly? Like,
I didn't do any intentional exercise for 90 days. And I actually know that because I also didn't tell anybody that I was doing keto for 90 days. I was afraid that just like any other thing that I had ever tried, that it would last for a little while, I would lose a little bit of weight, and then I would gain all the weight back and then some. So I actually had my first Facebook post where I came out of the keto closet, I guess I'll call it that.
and that was at 90 days?
It was on October 21st. So yes, it was exactly 90 days. And I said, I guess you guys have all been missing my Facebook updates. So, and I still didn't even call it keto then because I think I was nervous of, people thinking it was weird or something, and I was still new to it. So that day I decided I was going to start exercising again. But before that, I simply would go to the store with my wife. Things I didn't used to do. I would actually go to the high school, inside the high school with my kids. I started actually taking the stairs when I would go to my wife's classroom. She's a school teacher, and her classroom is on the second floor. So that was my exercise for the first 90 days.
But I think that's still amazing because coming from a spot where you were, where it would just hurt to just walk around the block or walk to the mailbox or whatever, and then just taking those little steps. We've been hearing a lot about like atomic habits and just starting the new year right now, and how if you just do a little thing, it can just be monumentous, right? Mm-hmm. That's probably not a real word. It can be amazing. And just those little tiny things like, going to the store and walking the aisles of the grocery store, like that's still a walk. We actually are doing a challenge with our Keto Chow company. All of our employees right now, we're going Keto Chow to Mumbai. So we're walking the amount of miles it takes to get from Draper, Utah to Mumbai, India over the next 6 weeks. And we're super excited about it, and we're going to log it all, and we're kind of having some like little competition between departments, and we're going to try to like one up each other. I'm super excited about it. So
now I have to know how many miles it is from
it's 10,000.
10,000 miles.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fun, but we've also like adapted it so that you can do different exercise and then you can translate it to miles. So you can still record miles and it should be fine. But it's just kind of a fun thing. But any movement, anything to move you forward is still something to move you forward, right? So I love that was part of your journey, is just that little bit of exercise and such. Chris is fixing his mic now.
Apparently my mic was making me sound...
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Okay. But I'm sure I sound amazing now. No, that's really true as far as, there's so many things, and I'm sure that there are people here in our keto community that can relate, but there are so many things that your average person doesn't think of as things that were really big things for me. And those were some of the non-scale victories that I've had over the last 17 months. Things like being able to go to the grocery store and, not feel like I'm going to die when I'm done. And being able to fit in a booth at a restaurant rather than having to ask for the table. The first time I didn't have to ask for a seatbelt extender on an airplane. Those have been some of the things that, again, most people don't even think of as things, but were really huge things for me.
And sitting in theater seats.
Yes, sitting in a theater seat. We actually just went to a concert this past week, and I realized about 5 minutes after we sat down that I didn't think about whether or not I was going to fit in the seat.
Oh, yay.
So that was nice.
That's just so exciting. And, well, I think, too, don't you feel like it's humiliating to feel like that you can't do things and everybody might be watching you or whatever? Isn't that like a emotional thing
And my glasses.
when you can't. Chris, stop distracting me.
I am so distracted.
No,
Hello.
it really does, and it's
pain.
really interesting. You know, I actually went to 2 concerts in the month of December. Liz and I both love Christmas music, and actually at both concerts there were people very close to us that were about the same size, I think, that I probably used to be, and it just kind of hit me all of a sudden. I was like, yeah, and I just felt. I felt bad for those people, but I also know exactly how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Are you here now?
I'm here now.
Okay, welcome to the party.
Yep. You get a microphone.
There's always
Scott
you
gets
just
a microphone.
just shout across my
I usually
shoulders
project
over
my
here.
insecurities anyway, so
I probably
this
get
is fine.
2 microphones, so yay for me.
You're cool. You get 2 microphones.
All right.
Okay.
So, well, what are you guys talking about?
We're talking.
I'm gonna let
We
you
were
continue.
talking about exercise for a minute, but
Okay.
really, like it started with food, and for the first 90 days, he didn't worry about exercise, and then what he did was focus on just very simple things of just moving more, right? Which I think is just so huge. And then, how much have you lost? 175 pounds? Is that what you said?
179.3.
Oh.
Crazy.
Almost 180.
Crazy.
It was like when I go to the doctor's office and they're like, and how much do you weigh? And I rattle off with the decimal as well, and they're like, okay. I'm like, well, I weigh myself every day.
Yeah.
There's a scale there. It's part of my morning routine. So
I weigh myself once a week, but still, yes, I know the number. And this lovely lady here has actually done a great job with keto as well. She decided that she would join me about that 90-day mark, about the time I finally told people I was doing it. She jumped on board, and as you can see, she's awesome and amazing, and didn't have a whole lot of weight to lose, but she lost some and got feeling a lot better too, which was
Yes.
great.
Yes. I lost, how many, what did I lose?
About 30 pounds?
Yeah, I lost about 30 pounds, and the only reason I had done it is because you were doing it, and it was easier if I did it. And then I had some chronic hip pain from childbirth, stupid children. And it just, I've been to several doctors, and they said there was nothing wrong. And then finally I tried this keto thing, and the pain disappeared. So I was like, this works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to ask that too. Is there any other things that you noticed that were beneficial, like
Well, your back pain
brain fog or?
disappeared.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing. So obviously at 475 pounds, to say I was a big guy, I was 3 people. I mean, let's be honest, I was 3 people. And so I had pretty much attributed my back pain completely to my size. Now, I'm not saying that it was not a contributing factor, because it
Yeah.
definitely was. But within like 2 weeks of starting keto, I could go for a walk. Now, obviously at that size, I still wasn't walking a real long way, but I would get, 2 or 3 houses down from where we lived, and my back would start hurting. And all of a sudden I noticed that I could do the walk around the block that was about a mile, and my back
Yeah.
didn't hurt. And I was still,
even though you still weighed that much.
right, I was clearly, at that point I probably lost, that 10 pounds of water weight, but I was probably still 460 pounds, and I felt like I could walk already, which was really awesome.
Well.
And my hip wasn't catching when I was running.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really was about that 2-week mark. I had to run back to the high school to get something from the front doors, and
Run back to the high school.
yeah. Well, I was on the field watching a performance of my sons, and I was running back to open the doors for the high schoolers to go back inside in the morning, and I got to the front doors. And I'm like, wow, my hip didn't hurt. Okay, this is
Nice.
great.
Yeah, and we've heard so much that happens with keto is you're looking for one thing or you're just doing it for a while, and then all of a sudden you notice you didn't take a pain pill. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe and Rachel have said that before. Like Joe, 6 weeks in, and he didn't take an arthritic pain pill or something like that, and it's like, oh, I didn't notice that I wasn't in pain until all of a sudden I noticed I wasn't in pain. So that's just so interesting.
Yeah, 800 milligram ibuprofen was like a part of Liz's daily life, and
Yeah.
it's not anymore.
No. And both my dad and my brother are physicians, and I had asked them, what should I do? And they said, well, have you gotten an MRI? Have you gotten an x-ray? Have you gone to the doctor? And I'd done all those things. I'd gone to a physical therapist, and nobody could tell me how to make it stop. And then you were doing keto, and you just said it really made you feel better. And I said, well, why not? It's not like I'm going to do anything different. It's just easier for me to make a full meal rather than, you know, something scrounged up for you.
Yep.
And it's easier to just add a little pasta or rice or something if the kids really feel like it.
Yeah.
But and all of a sudden the pain just melted away. So
awesome.
So your why wasn't necessarily fat loss.
no, that wasn't even a factor. I didn't even care. I really didn't until I was just like, well, he lost all that weight. I don't care because my size didn't bother me at all. I didn't really notice. And then I was doing the keto thing to get rid of the pain in my hip and just to make life easier. And then I did notice that all of a sudden my weight dropped because I was just like, oh, I'll just see what happens, you know. I wasn't really strict keto kind of thing like you are.
And she's still not. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're different types of people. I would say that I'm an abstainer and she's a moderator.
I need my
She can have a piece of chocolate and I want all of the chocolate.
In the whole world.
That's all right. I would go to the store and buy them out of chocolate, where she can have a piece of chocolate and kind of go back to keto.
I need my chocolate. I have some.
That is true.
Yeah.
I have some. Oh, Kate wants to know if you want water or electrolytes.
Oh, I'm good.
Kate's off screen.
Yes.
See?
Now Kate's on screen.
All right, so you're here in Salt Lake. You came to visit.
Yes, came to
And-
visit my family. Well,
That's right.
my dad and some of my siblings.
Now, okay, so a lot of people have asked about, like, what do you eat? What do you eat when you're traveling? What do you eat when you can't get through Wyoming because it's locked down? What do you eat when you're visiting family?
Yeah.
All good questions. I would say that I found it pretty easy to eat at most fast food places, and to be honest, I find those better than kind of your middle of the road casual dining places. And
Okay.
and what I mean by that is that, like, when I buy a hamburger and I have the hamburger without the bun, I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, where half the time if I buy something from like a diner, I'm only able to eat half of the meal because the burger comes with, 8 different kinds of carbs that I don't eat. So, but Liz's dad is who we visited, and he doesn't really cook. So we either picked up food, and again, just, we could find, it feels like we could find something to eat most places. And he actually asked, like, is there any place you don't want to go? And I said, probably not Italian.
Yeah.
And
Noodles.
probably not Mexican, although
Mexican.
fajitas are great. I mean, just the meat and the vegetables is a really good way to kind of...
Asian's hard.
Asian is hard too, that's
Because there's
true.
rice with
The
everything.
Chinese
And
food is
it's
hard.
breaded.
And,
Yes.
and everything's breaded and has some kind of a sauce, yeah.
Steakhouses for the win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steakhouses and burger places. Seem
Yeah. My dad's like, so American? I'm like, yes, American is great.
What about wings? Do you guys like wings?
Love
Oh,
wings.
yes.
Okay.
We actually, yes, we did do wings while we were
Twice.
here. Twice. Once it was okay. And I won't say where it was, but it was just okay. The other time was fantastic. So,
And then we drove here from Nebraska, so we packed a laundry basket full of snacks, cheese sticks, almonds, cream, several bags of Keto Chow. We came with
yes, and I know you
4 or
weren't
5.
fishing for this, but my lunch was always Keto Chow because it was easy.
Yeah.
And her dad doesn't have a lot in the way of groceries because he's 88 and doesn't cook much anymore.
Well, and he lives by himself.
He lives by himself, exactly.
So he lives off of Stouffer's spaghetti or did Timor beef stew.
Oh, wow.
He just, or he takes somebody out to dinner. He just doesn't cook. He hasn't cooked in.
Yep. So it was really easy while we were there, and I actually worked remotely this last week, so it was easy to make a Keto Chow in the morning, throw it in
You
the fridge.
remotely
and-
worked?
I did.
Okay, now that brings up an interesting point. You do have other family with you,
Yes.
and are they keto?
No.
No, not usually. And I'll
Do they
say,
need to be keto?
No.
you know,
It might help. But
it probably wouldn't hurt. And, you know, like Liz was actually talking about how I went keto first and then she went keto because it probably got easier for the two of us to make a meal together. I would say the kids probably eat keto with us maybe half the time.
Yeah.
And we don't make a separate meal for them, but a lot of times, you know, if we're doing a burger without the bun, we will buy buns for them.
We'll make we have a favorite pasta sauce that we make that we have is like,
We just have the sauce.
we just have the sauce.
And they have the pasta still. But I don't know that they're going to be keto anytime soon.
They're 16 and 14.
yeah.
They
But-
don't care about any of that.
That's true. They don't.
Emily's always asking what her next meal is, and Brandon doesn't care.
That's true.
Okay.
So, yep.
Overly anxious and ambivalent, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know what the difference is between ignorance and indifference?
I don't know what I don't care.
Yes, it is. It's also the only joke I know that translates. What's that joke in Russian?
I don't know.
Think hard.
You're losing your
Your
touch, man.
Я не знаю, I don't know in Russian. Somebody on there is going to know Russian better than me, and they're going to laugh at my Russian, so I better stop.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, there was something else I wanted. Well, okay. So, a couple people asked, what are your favorite things to eat? Obviously, you're from Nebraska, so
Beef.
Yes.
definitely beef.
Yes, right here. There it is.
Beef.
Beef. Actually, ribeye steak. Give me a ribeye steak any day.
Scott look like brothers. Funny, 'cause you have a brother named Scott.
I do have a brother named Scott.
But it's not me.
No, it's not him.
But no, I would say definitely steak for me. I've helped Liz to enjoy steak more than she did when we first got married. She didn't really like steak very much, but I think we discovered because it was always cooked to death
Yeah.
before. And so,
Now you know what a steak tastes like.
yes, it's supposed to
good.
be medium.
Well, and
So-
also living in Nebraska, the beef tastes a lot better.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but just the beef that you get from local farmers tastes a lot better than the beef you get from Walmart. So,
Yeah, so outside of steak, like ground beef too, just if I'm feeling kind of lazy, I will just cook up a pound or two of ground beef and make it into a cheeseburger bowl or a Philly cheesesteak kind of bowl, just depending on what I kind of throw in there with it. And to me, that's a really easy way to eat and sort of cook, but cook something that only takes 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
prefer ribs.
Yeah.
Pork ribs or beef ribs?
What do we get?
Usually pork ribs. I'm still
You'd
trying to
know
figure
if
out
it
how to
was
cook
beef
beef
ribs.
ribs. I know, because they're so much bigger. Exactly.
And I really do like chicken. He doesn't like chicken as much.
I don't, because you can't get it fatty enough. You know,
That's
I,
what chicken
yeah,
thighs are
Thighs.
for.
the
Yeah.
wings and thighs and drumsticks are all right, I guess. But yeah,
Butter on top.
Yeah, butter
butter
your
on top.
chicken.
there you go. I just got to add butter. That's right.
Okay. So speaking of cooking meat, what are some of your favorite medical devices that you have outside on your patio that look like a smoker?
Got a smoker. Yes, that's the big
You know
thing.
why I call them medical devices?
Why do you call them medical
Oh,
devices?
because they help prevent diabetes and other chronic diseases.
There you go. So
use them?
Don't try to claim them on your flexible spending account. No, that's not going to work. But
as an accountant, I can tell you that's definitely true. that will not work. But no, yeah, I have a smoker that I love, and that's probably the main kitchen gadget we have. We have an air fryer that we bought right before I started keto, thinking that we would make all of the terrible things that you shouldn't eat, like all the fried foods. And we just don't use it that much. Our son still does. The non-keto son makes pizza rolls with it. But yeah, so.
And Totino's pizza.
Exactly. So, but we found that I found that I don't use it that much because a lot of things that people use it for, like people talk about how great a steak is in an air fryer, and I'm like, give me a smoker any day for a steak.
I like the Instant Pot, but then I'm a big fan of pressure cooker.
That's true.
So I don't I don't have time for the slow cooker.
Yeah.
Instant pots are really cool.
They
Yeah,
are
they
cool.
really
Really
are.
cool.
I like making eggs.
You like making, deviled eggs?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Just,
Boiled eggs.
steamed eggs, as they are.
I like eating eggs.
Yes. Let's see. A couple of people were talking about, can you, could I claim my smoker as my Army Pro gear? Let's see.
So I have a thought while you're
Yeah.
thinking of your thought.
Yeah.
So Scott and I were talking about kind of New Year's and resolutions, and we're looking at, and I even noticed today, like everybody in their challenges, and yes, we have a challenge with our company, and we're, we kind of do our own challenge. But one thing that you were saying on your channel is, simple is good, and why don't you tell us kind of what you're thinking about? Everybody's like, well, what challenge are you going to do, Scott? And you're like,
Well, okay, so
Keto Chow.
I call it my mantra, but probably my theme for 2023 is there is no secret ingredient. So and that's from Kung Fu Panda. I did not make that up. But what that means to me is that I've been doing keto for 17 months, and I have consistently lost weight. I consistently feel better. I'm consistently able to do the things that I want to do. And so until that changes, I don't see a reason to do a challenge and again, nothing wrong with doing those things. I think beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is awesome. And if you want to do that and you want to start the new year with that, more power to you. But for me, I think that trying to keep it simple is what's going to work for me right now. And so, yeah.
Well, you also do your life in quarters because you're an accountant and that's how you think. And this next quarter is your busiest time of year.
It is my busiest time of year. I'm going into tax season, so I figured that keeping the status quo and just doing what I've been doing is probably smarter than trying to start a new challenge. So, yeah. So I'm one of those people that's not doing a challenge. So come check me out not doing a challenge.
check him out doing his taxes.
doing taxes. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, doing everybody else's
Are you
taxes.
like Ned Flanders and you already have your personal taxes done?
No.
Oh no. No, accountants are notorious for extending their taxes, and they get done on October 15th every year. So
We
Ours
used to
get
do
to
it first
April,
thing.
don't they?
Yeah.
first week of April. There you go.
Yeah.
So I don't extend them, but I do wait till the last minute.
Yeah, we always got ours done as soon as possible because we had all these twins, which meant we always got a
We got
really good tax.
refunds, yeah.
And did you know when you have a child in December, you get to write them off
For the whole year.
That is true. It's like getting married at the end of the year. You're married for the whole year
Yeah.
too. So there you go. See, free tax advice, just one of the many services that we offer.
There you go.
Don't take that. No.
Well, and when every person is in a different place on their keto journey. And so what is relevant to you, well, isn't even relevant to Liz necessarily.
No.
That's true.
I may have gone to the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory store and come home with a bag of chocolate.
She may have. And that's okay. But, that's the thing. Like, I think that sometimes when we, when people are going to do these challenges, I don't want to give anybody the impression that I'm against somebody who's doing a challenge. That's the other thing, is that we're all one big happy community and we're not all doing the same things and we're not all in the same place. But that doesn't mean that we're not all driving toward the same goal. We all want to be healthy, and that just works differently for some of us. And there's nothing wrong with doing a challenge any more than there's nothing wrong with not doing a challenge.
Right.
So,
Everybody's great.
everybody's great. Everybody's awesome.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team.
Okay, so what are your favorite ways to cook steak and to cook hamburgers?
Smoker.
Yeah, all smoker all the time. I would say for hamburgers and for steak, and we usually just do the reverse sear method. We also, because we're lazy, we'll take the steak right out of the deep freeze and put it on the smoke setting and put it on there for like 25 minutes to thaw it out long enough to season it, and then you throw it on a screaming hot grill or griddle and sear it off, and you're done.
Unless the smoker's misbehaving, and then
And it lights on fire?
Then it goes in
and
timeout.
it won't spin, and I have to take it apart when it's
Oh.
warm outside and put it back together again.
That's fun.
It's
That sounds dangerous.
It's a little tricky. I'm not mechanically inclined, and somehow I got that job.
Yeah, because I'm even less mechanically inclined than she is, if you can believe that. So there you go.
So when we can't use the smoker because it's misbehaving, what do? You've made hamburger on the stove.
Yeah, I probably go to the skillet would be my next
Okay.
favorite way to do a burger or a steak. But I got to be honest, once you've had the smoker, it's sometimes the steakhouse is even disappointing if they don't use the smoker. So, and you don't have to get an expensive smoker either. I bought a cheap brand for sure, but it works. So, except when it doesn't work.
Except when it doesn't. Works great, except when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Something we learned from Caitlin McCleary, I think that's her name, is that the colder meat is, the better it'll take up the smoke flavor. And over a certain temperature, it doesn't do it at all.
Right.
And so we will, we just take frozen hamburgers,
stuff all the time.
throw them right on the grill, put a bunch of salt on it. And the nice thing about smoking it is you can just walk away.
Yes.
Now they do come out red.
Yes.
Depending on how you cook them. If you cook them low and slow, they come out and they were like bright red. It would.
My
nephews
family
don't like
couldn't
them
handle
anymore.
it. They're like, this isn't cooked. Well, yes, it is.
But the ones we had on New Year's, was it New Year's? No, on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, the ones we had on Sunday.
Those ones you just did fast.
Yeah,
like a
that
grill.
was at like 300 on the smoker.
And they
They were
still got
so
the
good.
smoke flavor. They were fantastic. Absolutely.
They were really good.
And Crafty and Carnivorous doesn't like smoked burgers, but we
okay.
can still be friends.
We can still be friends. It's okay. We don't. Again, we don't all have to like the
Yeah.
same things. You could never want to use the smoker, and we could still be friends.
I think
Yeah.
we just blew Ready Set Keto's mind. They didn't realize they could put frozen
Oh,
meat in the smoker.
yes.
Oh yes, this
certain
is.
thickness.
Yeah.
It can't be
Yeah,
too
if it's too thick, it won't work very well.
That's true.
Yeah, but like if it's under like I don't know, like an inch and a half or something like that, or maybe an inch, no problem. Just throw it right on.
And I'd love to say it's because I'm just so amazingly talented, but it's because I'm so amazingly lazy that
The smoker
I
lends
forget
good to
and- yeah.
the
Yes.
laziness.
Exactly.
Also, Keto Chow does too.
That is
Yes,
also
that
true.
is true.
maybe that's why I like it so much.
Maybe. Okay, now so you started how long ago again?
I was 17 months.
Okay, and now we first met you in person at the Omaha Keto Conference this last year.
Yes, that is right.
And was that the first conference you had ever gone to?
That was the first conference and only conference that I've ever been to.
First and only.
First and only, that's right. Mostly because nothing else is very close to me, at least not where I could drive. So, yeah.
That's what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere.
We do live smack dab in the middle of nowhere, right?
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah, because you guys are on the west side,
We are on the west side of Nebraska, that's right.
and Omaha's on the east side.
Yes.
Yes.
Are there any conferences that you guys are planning on going to this year? By you guys, I'm assuming Liz, you're not going to even bother.
You know, I tried to get her to come with me because everybody wants to meet her, and she's my definitely much, much, much better half.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to go to the Omaha conference. It actually is the very end of our family vacation.
My
And
family's
Yes.
family vacation.
Hey, it's his family too.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Yes.
But so I haven't decided if I'm going to come back a day early from that vacation to go to the conference or not. I would love to because it's great to see everybody,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. But that would be the one in Omaha again. Is it going to get a new name again, or is it
Oh,
I think it's still just called Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill Omaha?
Summit.
Yeah. So there
Yeah.
you go.
So, have you tried the Lazy Engineer beef recipe, by the way?
I have not.
It's not a recipe. You just
It's
put beef in a crock pot and then beef Keto Chow in the crock pot.
after you shred it,
Ooh,
and it turns
And then it's
the
magical.
drippings into gravy. The beef Keto Chow does.
that sounds really
It
good.
emulsifies the fat and the water together.
I think I got scared after I did not absolutely love the tomato basil.
You know what? You actually could use the tomato basil
Yeah, you could
for
do
that.
that.
We'll have to try that
That's a good idea.
I tried it by itself and it wasn't my favorite, and so I got scared of trying the other
'Cause it
savory
has that
flavors
beef
and
bone broth flavor. In
yeah,
It, so.
which is a good thing, but
I don't like the savory keto
You don't like the savory Keto Chows? Okay, we can still be friends too.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice.
You have to be
It's
friends with her.
true. Okay, Ready Set Keto says, when is the Hard to Kill Summit? I think it's in.
When is it?
it is it was the third week of July.
Yes.
Here we go.
I don't know. I'll put my arm up here.
Lowcarbevents.com.
Look at how cute that picture
It's
is.
almost like
That is
I
a
made a
really cute picture.
website just because I can't remember when all these things are. Boca Raton is coming up
It's
like
in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
10 days.
That's right.
That's
Florida.
in Florida.
That's a good
And
place
Joe
to
and
be in
Rachel are doing a
January.
meetup that
Yeah, we
weekend
got the
too.
quarterly keto meetup.
Yeah.
Low Carb Denver, which actually is
Ooh.
about the same distance as
It is.
Omaha, right?
Yeah, but I hear that one's more for medical
It
professionals.
is
and
more doctory,
It's still
but
really
it's still,
good.
Yeah.
It's also in the middle of tax season.
That's
yes.
true.
You got KetoCon, which is after tax season.
Barely.
It is. My vacation after tax season. There you go. Austin, Texas.
Got another keto meetup in May.
For
and
us, yeah.
There's the low carb cruise.
Yeah.
See, we should just go to Italy, Scott, and go to the keto.
I know, right? I've been wanting to do that for like 5 years
It's in
now.
Milan,
Okay,
right?
there
Oh,
it is.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Hard to
Oh, July
kill
28th
Summit.
and 29th. I was a week off.
Yep.
That's you're closer than I was. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, Ray said you don't want to know if you guys are going on the cruise. You're not, correct?
We're not. We're
No.
paying for braces.
We're trying to talk
And-
him into
and
it.
college.
Who needs braces?
Yeah.
My daughter, unfortunately. So
Yes,
so we're
sadly.
paying for braces.
I've got one more that needs braces.
Yeah.
And a couple of people are like, the cruise. So just to be clear, it's a group of people that are going on the cruise. That's a regular cruise.
It's a regular cruise.
There's like
yeah.
5,000 people, and like 200 of them are part of the group. And on the days at sea, they do the conference stuff where you go down to the conference center in the belly of the ship. I was gonna say the
So
belly of the
awesome.
beast.
I was
And-
going to
and
say
you-
that too.
And you get to hear the presentations. It's like going to Omaha or any of the other things. Incidentally, I know I'm hijacking this a little bit.
Yeah, gosh.
But the low carb cruise has a bunch of sponsor spots available.
Oh,
Keto Chow is one of the
yes,
sponsors.
Yes.
If there are keto or low carb products that you really like,
Yeah.
you should recommend to them that
To come
they
on the cruise
come on
with
the
us.
cruise. In fact, Debbie added a special option for sponsors where
Yes.
they could add 2 people going on the cruise.
As part of the
So
sponsorship.
it's totally a tax write-off at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's advertising money. Like,
So if you want to be an accountant on the cruise, you'd be like, I'll do some taxes in my room.
One of these years will come on the cruise.
That's okay.
It won't be this year, but one of these years will come
Can
on
I
the cruise.
teach high school on the cruise and get that as
Yeah.
There you
no,
go.
Do tutoring. My kids need help.
after school gets out, man.
We'll bring a sewing machine.
There you go.
Now, Annabelle says I need to go to America to go to a keto meetup. Actually, there was
There-
one
there
in the Gold
are-
Coast.
There is one. I want to go to that one.
Yeah, you really wanted to go
Low
to
Carb
that
Gold
one.
Coast. Oh, when was it? I think it already passed.
I don't remember when it has already passed.
But they have once a year, and we know a couple people that go to that in
Let's
Australia.
see. Map.
Just search it with the search bar. Look at the one all the way across the world. That's probably it.
That's right. Oh, why won't it scroll up?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're scrolling the words.
Yeah, so there was one. Oh, that's
What?
the Keto Ballet with Maria. But there was one in Australia.
Yeah, and it could
about
be
there.
that they just haven't picked it up again since
Well,
COVID.
yeah. Well, no,
Because
there
that's
was one
happened.
back in. It was like September.
Oh, this year?
Well,
This
Last
last year.
Rocky
Oh,
Mountain Girl
Rocky-
says, lowcarbevents.com.
Chris made that website
Yes.
because
of-
he wanted to keep the
wanted
events
to keep them
straight.
straight, 'cause
So if you know of any events that are not on there, let us know and we'll put them on
Scott,
there.
if anybody tells you about an event, make sure you
Tell us.
Okay.
I will do it. Yes, for sure. I'll have to start one in Western Nebraska with 3 other people that are keto.
Well, and that's something that Joe and Rachel have said is they're like, we will support. We will
Anybody
come,
who wants
we
to
will
visit us.
help out, but we will not run one.
It's just really
It
hard.
is-
It's
it
hard
is
to run
really
something.
hard. But anyway, let's see. So stuff that you wanted to talk about as well, Mary. We got these people here.
I Bibster said this is your 3rd year on keto, lost 154 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, but considering swapping carnivore because weight loss stopped for 6 months and want to lose another 30 pounds. Oh, that's the last 30 pounds the hardest, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Scott, you're not quite in your journey to where you've encountered a stall yet. That's
No.
why you're still just going for the simple.
Right, because quite frankly, and again, I pulled the number out of the air, but I started at 475, and my goal is to see a 1 in front of my weight. So
Wonderland, also
yes.
known as Oneaterland.
That's right, the great Oneaters. Yes,
It's
so
the Wonders.
as in
That movie.
I wonder what happened to the Oneaters. Yes. Yeah, so I want to see 199, not because that's actually an ideal weight for somebody of my not extreme stature, but I'll get there and I'll see. But no, I still have 90. What did I say? 96 pounds to go. So I'm still losing at a pretty regular clip. But I do understand exactly where that person is coming from. Those last 30 pounds, from everything I've heard and read and all that, are tough and take a while, unfortunately.
Yep.
But you're doing great, so keep going. Good job.
Yeah, 154 pounds is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And don't forget that it will go in 6 months. That probably would be considered a stall. Less than that, I don't know if it would. Your body tends to ebb and flow. And one thing that Miriam has learned recently working with Robert is if you just keep going on a restriction, eventually your body does, and we talked about this, your body goes,
I guess
What
I'm
are
getting
you
used to
doing?
this. Yeah.
I'm going to start shutting down processes now.
Yeah.
So,
But my restriction isn't the same. I'm definitely not starving.
Yeah.
I'm eating a lot of food.
but I've seen people who stop losing and find that if they really up their protein
up their fat.
or even increase, just straight up increase their calories, get their body going again, and then
Kind of resets.
yeah, that's something that Kim Howerton was talking about on. Was it the proper
Human Diet? Yeah. She
Yeah.
talked about what was so interesting that I found was interesting was that she talked about what we do is go into intentional, unintentional maintenance. So like you want to lose weight and you're trying to lose weight, but then your body just stays the way it is. And so we've got to figure out how to move it, right? And so I just thought it was really interesting how she said unintentional maintenance. Oh yeah, that's exactly.
Well,
what
and
it
I
is.
will even say, having been at it for 17 months and having been an accountant, I of course have a spreadsheet to track my progress.
And it doesn't go like this. It goes like this, right?
Exactly. And I have enough data now to tell you that even though I consistently have lost weight, I have had periods where it kind of goes like this, down, and then it levels out for a while. It's not just straight down like we all want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because you see that like even up a couple of pounds and then you think you're stalled, but really like your body's just fluctuating. It just fluctuates, but the scale just kind of tricks us into thinking that we're horrible sometimes. It's unfortunate.
Well, and you think of how long it took your body to get to that state.
Yeah,
So-
it's not going to just heal overnight, right?
You've said that before.
Yeah, if it took me 20 years to get to the size that I've gotten to, I can put up with, it'll probably end up being 2.5, 3 years for me to get down to where I want to be. But it took me 20 years to get where I started. So there you go.
So that's still a shortcut.
Exactly.
We just always wanted to be so much faster that it's hard emotionally, I think.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of wrap our brain around it.
It's the same thing with everything. You just want a quick fix. Yes.
Now you guys might have covered this while I was completely off. and
Da
rolling.
dee da da da.
But so for you, Scott, are you tracking it all? Are you just not eating carbs and avoiding them at all costs and just eating whatever you want? Or
I almost
exactly
feel
do you do that?
I almost feel bad for saying this to people because I know so many people have to do so much tracking. I have not tracked one thing in 17 months.
Okay.
I haven't counted 1 calorie. I haven't tracked or written anything down. I just eat meat and the low-carb vegetables, and that's basically it. And by doing that and eating till I'm full and unintentionally intermittent fasting because I'm not hungry in the morning.
Whoops, I forgot to eat.
Yeah.
For 6 hours.
Honestly, doing those things, like I listen and hear from so many people who have to do so much more, and I almost feel bad that it's been as easy as it's been for me, but and it hasn't always been easy, but I haven't had to do a lot of the tracking things, and I haven't had to do counting things really hardly at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel fortunate in that way, I guess.
Okay. Cynthia wants to know what your favorite Keto Chow flavor is.
Not tomato.
Not tomato basil. No, my favorite Keto Chow flavor, I was going to say gingerbread because it was, and I love gingerbread, but I would have to say it's the
Pecan sticky
pecan
bun.
sticky bun of ultimate awesomeness.
Of ultimate awesomeness.
It is ultimately awesome. Yeah, I really, really like that flavor a lot. And Liz and I were talking. I think I've almost tried all of the flavors now. I haven't tried all the savory flavors, but
You haven't had red and black licorice.
I haven't. Nor will I ever have
discontinued.
black licorice because I can tell you right now that I do not like black licorice. But red licorice, we have one packet, and Liz is going to get to enjoy that because she loves red licorice. So, yeah.
My favorite so far, it's a toss-up between mint chocolate,
Which you
and
just barely had for the first time, right?
yes.
I love chocolate
All of a sudden,
mint.
he got me chocolate. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazeballs.
We hadn't tried chocolate. Can you believe that? With my
actually,
wife
I
who
can.
says if it's not chocolate, it's not worth it.
No, it's not
We
worth
hadn't
it.
tried chocolate. All these other flavors, but
So
not
funny.
just original chocolate.
Right.
So.
It's a mint chocolate, or raspberry cheesecake.
Ah.
And
yes.
my favorite thing with a raspberry cheesecake is my favorite kind of ice cream was raspberry with chocolate chips. But that's not like a common store flavor.
Yeah.
And so we'll take the raspberry cheesecake, make that into ice cream, and then put in some Bake-Believe chopped chocolate.
Yeah. And somebody
little
said on there
chocolate.
that they love the maple waffle. I love the maple waffle too. I particularly loved maple waffles
Ah, yes.
because it made an amazing McGriddle. Exactly.
Yes. And somebody also asked, they asked, are we team butter or team whipping cream? We're team whipping cream.
We are because we're lazy. because you have to melt butter to make it butter, and
And my
like,
water's too cold. I can't heat it up fast enough. So when I pour the water
Oh,
in
yeah.
the butter, it all of a sudden gets chunky.
Well, you have to use warm water.
I
You
know.
have
Yeah.
to use a blender, and
Yeah.
have you gathered that we're lazy?
I've heard that before.
I don't believe it.
Well, and I saw that Ibsters was asking about they said that if they eat carbs, then they tend to put on weight. So is there no way back to a non-keto but healthy way of eating? Is this a lifelong way of eating now?
It is for you.
It is for me. My father-in-law actually asked me that the other day. He's a retired general surgeon and dealt with a lot of gastric bypass bariatric surgeries. And so one of the questions that he asked me is like, so when you get to your goal weight, like what happens? And I said, nothing. I keep eating the way that I'm eating because if I go back, then I'm going to become the person I used to be.
Wait, are you saying that if you go back to eating the way that made you heavy, that you'll become heavy again?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What?
I know.
You mean it's, oh man. Okay.
It's got to be a lifestyle. I know. And that's, and people hear that and they're so sad. You're never going to have bread or pasta again. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to be able to see my grandkids, which would be awesome.
Well, and Ibster, no joking aside for just a second, sometimes when you get to your goal weight, you can add a little bit of carbs back in, depending on who you are
could
and
do
how
deliberate
sensitive you are. I think too, like depending on what the carbs you're talking about. If you're talking about cinnamon rolls, maybe not. If you're talking about lettuce, broccoli,
Maybe some extra onions.
yeah. Or even one chocolate a week or something like that.
Maybe
that
some
has
of
some
that
real
delicious
sugar in
fruit
it.
called jalapeno poppers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I do know a lot of people, that are keto that occasionally will have like a little bit of fruit or a little bit of, something else, and they do fine. So you just have to figure out what works best for you, and keto's different for everyone, right? Like
Right.
we were saying. So
Well, I think you just have to know yourself is really what it comes down to, and know if you have a piece of fruit, if it's going to be a piece of fruit or if it's going to be all the fruit. I know that for
All
me,
an
the fruit in the
entire
world.
pineapple.
yeah, if I know it's going to be all the fruit for me, and for Liz it can be a piece of fruit. So I think you just have to be honest with yourself and know whether or not you could handle a little something.
I did not eat
A
any
little something, something.
of the pineapple that the kids had for Christmas.
Oh yeah, we had some
Because-
neighbors give us
no, it would have
pineapple.
been. I would have eaten the stuff that was cut off the sides. Chew it up. I would have eaten the core. You know, the woody part. Oh.
You know, people keep saying it's like 2 crisp bears on one couch. I guess we look more alike than we think we do, Chris.
It's
Well,
the
that's-
beard.
It's the beard. That's what it really is. I think it's the beard.
Well, that's
and the
Mike.
beard.
He lives down in Las
Las
Vegas. He also has sufficient for his needs. So,
That's one way
Good
to
old
say it.
oh, Sean's having a black licorice shake for right now for dinner.
Heck yeah.
You know, you just have all of those, Shauna. You go for it. Oh, if I had an extra one, I'd give it to you.
Well, like that's one of my favorite things. Is like I cheat. I feel like I'm cheating. You know, I'm gonna go have a chocolate shake for lunch.
I had ice cream for breakfast and for lunch today.
I had wings. It was amazing.
Wings are amazing too. But yeah, I almost feel like I'm cheating when I have ice cream for dinner. I really feel like I'm cheating on keto with Keto Chow, but I'm not, and that's the cool thing.
Okay.
And we're not the cool, creamy people.
We are not,
We're
but we do have a
Cuisinart.
Cuisinart that works just fine.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The best ice cream maker is the one you already have.
Yes,
The second best ice cream maker
is a cream.
is a cream. And the third best ice cream maker, based on the tests we did, was that one that you guys got.
Yeah,
So-
which is why we bought it, because we watched it was my Mother's Day present.
Yes, I decided I didn't want to have a jet engine in our kitchen, which is why I decided not to go with the creamy. But
I like the jet engine.
I came downstairs during lunch. I try to not run the creamy during lunch.
He only does it when everybody's in there.
No, I deliberately do it when there's no one in there. And there were like 5 people in the break room today.
Maybe we should just not
I
put it
walked
in the
in there
break
and I'm
room.
like,
Just plug it in the warehouse
I am
somewhere.
sorry, everybody.
I need 5 minutes of your time.
I actually went in there one time, and Ross was like practicing Spanish,
Oh.
and I was like, "Are you on a call?" He's like, he shakes his head. I'm like, "All right." So I
Oh,
unplugged
wait.
it, went into the warehouse.
Check it in the warehouse. That's funny.
oh, it's and that was at the end of the day. That was it for me. It was just too loud.
That and we have too many appliances on my counter already. Don't have a very big kitchen, but I'm an appliance snob.
Okay.
That's true.
Oh, Jujubee says the website has pecan sticky bun on the little ticker on the
Whoops.
top,
Guess we need to fix
but
that.
it's sold out now.
Oh,
It's just teasing everyone. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, Annabelle says I get to eat all the bacon and keto chow for the rest of my life. I love eating this way.
It is nice to have bacon. Like,
Now, I like
not
what
feel guilty
Dr.
about
Barry
it.
likes to talk about, how if you call it a diet, it's one thing. If you call it the proper human diet
Yeah.
or the proper human way of eating or whatever you want to call it, that's a better way to think about it.
yeah.
And I like to focus on the stuff that I can have.
yeah.
instead
Because
of the
otherwise
stuff
I
that
get my
can't
feelings
have.
hurt. And I don't want to do that.
Kate has a story.
You have to
talk
like
louder.
shout it. Come talk into my shoulder.
Okay,
Like really shout.
I don't want to. So I will be at like friend's house
Yep.
with my non-keto friends because I'm a teenager,
Yep.
Yes.
and they'll be like, "Oh, what can you eat?" And what can you eat? And I'm like, "I can eat meat." And they're like,
Yep.
"What else?"
Meat.
There are other things, but it's a lot
It
easier.
is. It's just like, "Oh, and we'll be so great and prepare this treat for you."
And I'm like,
And
how
it's
about meat?
I can't eat that.
But you can
Okay.
eat the meat, so yeah, that's exactly right. There's always meat at most parties anyway. So
And you know, she knows that she can bring little smokies or deviled eggs or anything to a party, and then at least eat the stuff she brings.
yeah.
Well, and that's a good thing. Let's Scott, Liz, let's talk about that. So, in your area that you live, I'm assuming there aren't many other people, family and friends that
Ketoing.
No, I haven't
have this
found many.
lifestyle.
No, that would
Zero
be true.
family.
Zero family and a couple of
acquaintances
Yes.
that have maybe started with keto. So yes, not very many. That's true.
Yeah. Although as you've stuck to it longer and longer, I'm sure they're getting used to it and coming around, huh?
Yeah, and sort of some of the time.
We're getting
Yes.
used to it not coming around necessarily.
Yes.
but-
Well, I would say, my family has been, and I know not everybody has this, but my family has been really accommodating, and really, when we get together for a Sunday dinner, or when we get together, when we got together for Thanksgiving, they made sure that there were going to be things available that I could eat.
Yeah.
And the other thing, back to the point of like when you go to a party or something, the easiest way to make sure that there's a treat that you can eat is to bring your own keto treat. And you don't have to Lion King it like Rachel and Joe always said.
Everyone, look at my tree.
Yes, you can just let it be there.
Yes. Although your brother knows that if I bring a treat now, it's guaranteed to be keto.
Yes, and now he tells everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's also like at Thanksgiving. No, it wasn't. It was Christmas. He said he was willing. He would give it a shot, and I made. What did I make?
We made All Day I Dream About Foods
Gingerbread.
pound cake
Yeah.
with her caramel sauce.
Nice.
Yes.
And
I
he
love
said that
her
it was quite
recipes.
satisfactory.
It didn't taste keto. Was what he told me.
This
I'm
isn't
like, yes.
as bad as I thought.
Yes.
Isn't as bad as I thought it was going to
Yes.
be.
Ready to say keto says my family knows they have to bring their own bread.
Yeah, our family does too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I have noticed that if you tell people that the treat that you brought to share is gluten-free,
Yeah, it's less scary.
a lot of times they're really happy about it. The people who actually can't do that. We had some people in our neighborhood that
There you
we had a neighborhood Christmas dinner thing.
Yeah.
And there
and
was a table set aside for gluten-free. There was actually a table set aside for keto as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the people, like, been doing it for so long, and the people are like, I'll just eat what Chris and Miriam bring, like, okay.
Well, but see, then if we tell people that my desserts are keto, then I get to have them when I get home because they'll be left over.
Yeah, sometimes.
You could put a
sometimes.
big vegetarian thing on it, and then everybody would leave it alone.
Then everybody would leave it alone for sure. That's true.
That's silly.
Except for the vegetarian people.
Except for the vegetarian
And
people.
then they would probably say, "This is delicious."
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be vegetarian.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
How is this bacon vegetarian? Actually, Miriam and I went to a game night once, and I brought a mason jar full of bacon.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time
It
ago.
was a long time
That was like
ago.
when we just barely started.
Everybody ate it.
Everybody ate it. Everybody made fun of him the whole time and ate it.
Of course they did, because who doesn't like bacon?
I'm like, this is not a treat.
It wasn't even coated in chocolate.
I'm
I mean,
like,
what the
you should coat this in chocolate. Well, why is this? Are these jars empty? I don't know. It must have been a bad treat.
Okay, well, we only have a little bit of time left because we try to keep it to an hour.
Yes.
But there's a massive part of Scott's life that we haven't even talked about, which is
Yeah.
hunting.
Yes.
Hunting, well,
Scott likes to get his own meat.
I do. I like to get it fresh. It's farm to table.
Table.
Yes.
My venison is farm to table.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, I do like to hunt, and I do like to enjoy what I hunt. And the great thing about venison is that it's a really healthy option, and it's a ruminant animal. So, yay for that.
Do you mostly get deer, or do you get any elk or anything like that?
Mostly get deer, but we do have the opportunity every once in a while to get an elk, and my dad got one this year, and because my brother and I did most of the work processing it, we split it 3 ways. So I got like 20 pounds of ground elk and some elk steaks, and the only thing with those is that they're really lean, so you have to make sure to have some fat with them. But
Oh, butter goes good with venison.
butter goes good with everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. But that's one of those things that's great because we, in addition to having great beef, because we live in Nebraska, we have a freezer full of venison. So we always have something that we can go to if we need to.
That's all my deep freeze. I've got a giant deep freeze out in my shed, and it is just full of meat.
Yep.
That's the only thing that's in it.
And we're
is
talking
meat.
about buying a second freezer.
Yeah.
Now, do you mostly cook it as like steaks or ground meat, or?
We have it kind of cut into almost a roast that we cook as a steak, a London broil style. So you kind of marinate it and then you slice it real thin. And then outside of that, we do a lot of ground. And then, of course, everybody is familiar probably with venison jerky or venison jerky sticks, and we do a lot of that too.
But you can't forget your victory fajitas.
Always have victory fajitas. Yes, when
Victory fajitas?
victory
Yes.
fajita. When we harvest a deer, the back straps inside, which is really the most tender meat that you can get a hold of, we make those into fajitas. And what's really cool is that the kids don't know any better. They don't know that it's not supposed to be an awesome thing. Because a lot of people don't like game animals because it tastes a little different than the ground beef than that sort of thing that you're used to. But my kids are always excited when we harvest a deer because we have victory fajitas.
And that's
So
their favorite part is the
that's
victory fajitas.
that's their favorite part.
That's
Yep.
so fun. That's so
Okay,
fun.
victory. Wow.
I want victory. Tell us when you get an animal next so I can make
You
some
can come over for victory
Yes.
fajitas.
We
Yes.
can just make victory
Yeah,
fajitas
we
and
could
celebrate
just
with
make
you.
'em.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
let's do it.
Yes.
When was the last time we made fajitas? We were
was camping,
and we
and
had
it
the
was deer meat,
Was
I
it
think.
the select savory seasoning?
Was that?
Fajita seasoning? I think it
It
was.
was kind of weird because there was a trailer over here and a trailer over there, and he was cooking over here, and then he was pulling the stuff
Steve
over
made-
here, and
we
something
made
about
fajitas.
kids
It was
everywhere.
So good.
there were kids everywhere.
So good.
And I will tell you that honestly, venison is not great in everything. Like ground venison is not great in everything, but in the recipes that it works in, it works really well. And the seasonings for fajitas seem to work really well for venison.
Do you ever mix it with like ground beef?
Yes.
Absolutely. Like Nisha's
Meatloaf.
meatloaf. We'll do 2 pounds of venison and well, no, we do 1 pound of venison and 2 pounds of,
No, 2 pounds of venison
Yes.
because they come in 2 pound.
2 pounds of venison and 1 pound of ground beef.
1 + 2 + 2 + 1.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So the 3 pounds, 2 pounds of venison, 1 pound of ground beef, and it makes really good meatloaf.
Yes, and then we really like it in things that have a lot of seasonings, like fajitas, obviously. And
Like we have a
Taco
beef.
meat?
Yeah, we have a beef stroganoff
Beef
recipe
stroganoff.
that it works
Oh,
really
that
good
sounds
in.
good. I want stroganoff.
Yeah.
he doesn't like it in taco meat because the meat is a star, and he prefers beef in tacos.
Right.
And I'm
right.
kind of a beef snob. I really
You are a
am.
beef snob.
I'm from Nebraska. What can I say? You know, see, steak.
Once upon a time, I bought beef from Walmart and I made it into tacos. And you said this is Walmart meat, isn't it? I said, well, yeah. And he's just like, don't ever.
have the same bouquet.
Well, he's been a great guest because he hasn't said anything about our regular beef. That's not from Nebraska.
It's fine.
We had Sam's
No,
Club
it's really
meatballs
good.
tonight.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. They weren't even Sam's Club meatballs. It was ground beef from Sam's Club
Yes.
that I made into meatballs. It was a sweet and sour meatball recipe from our website.
Yes, it was.
And look, I'll totally admit it's probably a mental thing. If you didn't tell me and just
Like,
if-
this is from Nebraska.
yeah. So
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We need to get you on your way because you gotta leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
yes, we are going home.
Real.
Real.
Please stay open.
This time it's for real.
Okay,
Well, everybody check out their channel, Platte
Yes.
River Keto. Show them some love.
I did a search for Platte River Keto YouTube, found it right away.
First
Hey,
thing.
there you go.
Turns out that there's
Google
this
works.
Google thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks all for joining us, and we will catch you later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.